Good morning, class. I'm going to go over the study guide answers to help you for your final tomorrow, okay? I can't do all of them because of time, but I'm going to do the majority, the ones that I know you're going to have. All right. So here we go. Number one here, it says, which are true about Pythagorean theorem? B and C are the ones that are true there, guys. Okay, if you already done the study guide, then you know what I'm talking about. Solve the missing side length. Okay, so here, this is a right triangle. The slanted side is always C. The legs are always A and B. So this is going to be A, and this is going to be B there. Okay, so for number two, you're going to use Pythagorean theorem, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And your A is going to give you 6, so that's 6 squared, plus your B is going to give you 8, so that's 8 squared. So you're trying to find C. So when you do that, you have 36 plus 64 is equal to C squared. So you got 36 plus the 64, that gives you 100. Okay? Then you're going to find the square root on both sides. The square root of 100 gives you 10. The square root of C squared is just C. All right, so your answer there is 10. For number 3, your answer is going to be A and D. All right. Number 4, here it says, find the function rule in y equals mx plus b, which is the slope-intercept form of this table. So the first thing you have to do is find m, then find b. So let's find m first. This is number 4. So to find m, you have to use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And you pick one of these 2 points. I'm going to pick the first 2 points. Okay? So with my first 2 points that I choose is negative 2 and 4. That's x1, y1. And then 0 and 8. That's x2, y2. I'm going to substitute. So here, what goes on the top is 8 minus 4. What goes on the bottom is 0 minus a negative 2. All right, so on the top, this gives me 4. And on the bottom, that gives me a positive 2. So this is going to be 2. So M here is going to be 2. B, where the line crosses the y-axis, is simple there, because look, anywhere you see x is equal to 0, this is going to be your y-intercept. So B is going to be 8. So the equation is going to be y is equal to 2x plus, 2x plus 8. Okay? All right. What is the function rule for this line? So you have to figure out what the slope is and what the y-intercept is. Your slope for a line you use is rise over run. So when I use rise over run, I pick 2 points on the line, 2 readable points. I'm gonna choose this point because it's easy to read here. I'm gonna go up the line and I'm gonna choose this point right here because this is easy to read. So when I use rise over run, I have to go up 1, 2, and over 1. So for number 5, my slope, my m, is equal to 2, okay? All right, now where does it cross the y-axis? It crosses the y-axis right here. This number, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my b is going to be 4 because it crosses at 4. So my equation is y is equal to 2x plus 4. So that's for number 5. Okay. To graph here for number 6, when you're graphing, you have to label your m and label your b to graph your points. So here, your m is 5. You can put 5 over 1. This is your rise. This is your run. And your b is a number that has no variable attached. That's negative 1. So you're going to find negative 1 on the y-axis, which is right here. And then you're going to use your slope to graph other points. So that's going to be up 5, since 5 is your rise, and to the right 1. So up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. If you want points in the opposite direction, you go do it up backwards. Instead of going up 5, go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Instead of going to the right, go to the left 1. And this is your line here. Okay. All right. Let's look at number 7. So here, it's just asking you for the following problem, which operation do you do first? So this is order of operations. You do operations within the parentheses first, but you can't add these because they're not alike. So you can't say add those together because they're not like terms. So then the next thing you're going to do is multiplication because you don't have exponents. You don't have any exponents here. So when you multiply, you're going to multiply 2 times both of the numbers in the parentheses. So that's the first thing that you do. All right, number 8. Number 8, solve for x here. So that's going to be 3x minus 4 is equal to 11. So when you solve for x, you got to get x by itself. So that means you're going to add 4 to both sides, okay? When you add 4 to both sides, this gives you a 3x, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. To get x by itself, you got to get rid of this 3. This is multiplication here. The opposite of multiplication is division. So this gives me x is equal to 5. Number 9 is B there, okay? Now we're looking at 10. For number 10, you have 7x squared, and you're going to multiply that times 2x to the 10th. So when you have this, what you're going to do is multiply the numbers first. So this gives me 14. Then when you multiply exponents with like bases, you add the exponents together. So that's going to be 2 plus 10, okay? So my answer here is going to be 14 x to the 12th power. All right. Okay. Number 11, you're dividing. You got 20x to the 10th power divided by 5x to the 8th. So here what you're doing is you got to divide the numbers. 20 divided by 5 is going to give me 4. Then you have, you're dividing exponents where the bases are the same, so you can subtract. Here you added, here you're going to subtract. So the one that's on top you're going to write first, so that's 10 minus 8. Okay, so this is going to give me 4x to the 2nd power. Okay, number 12. Number 12 is, move this out the way. Number 12 is 3a squared, and it's raised to the 4th power. This is a power to a power. So the first thing here, if you don't see any exponents on the numbers of the variable, it's automatically 1. Since it's a power raised, exponent raised to another exponent, you're going to multiply the exponent on the outside times all the exponents on the inside, even attached to the numbers, even the numbers, okay? So this is going to give you 3, 1, that's automatically there, times 4. Then a to the 2nd times 4. All right, so when you do that, this gives you 3 to the 4th power, and this gives you a to the 8th power, okay? So I want to simplify this. So that's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Again, 3 times 3 is 9. When you multiply 9 times 9, that gives you 81. So this is 81. So your final answer here is going to be 81a to the 8th power. Okay? Let's look at this one. Number 13, we're writing numbers in scientific notation here. Okay? So when you write a number in scientific notation, 7, 3, 1. This number is larger than 1, so my exponent is going to be a positive number, okay? My exponent is. So I locate my decimal first. My decimal is here if you don't see it. You're going to move it behind the first significant digit. Those are digits that hold value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're not going to put it behind a 0 because 0 does not hold value. So I need to move it. When I read a number, I read it from left to right. So I need to move it behind the 7 because that's the first digit that holds value. So I'm going to count how many times it took me to move it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to rewrite the number. It's 7.3. 1, and I don't need the zeros, okay? I can put them, but I don't need them. Times 10, and I moved it 4 times, so it's to the positive 4 power, okay? Now I'm writing this in scientific notation. This is a smaller number, okay? So the smaller number, let's see, you got decimal, and you got 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3 zeros, 5, 2. All right, so you're writing that in scientific notation. So again, this is a smaller number, smaller than 1, so my exponent is going to be a negative, okay? So I'm going to take my decimal and move it behind the first significant digit. Not 0, because it doesn't hold value. The first significant digit, as I read from left to right, is 5. So I need to put the decimal behind the 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this gives me 5.2 times 10 to the negative 4. Okay, because it took me 4 times to get it behind the 5, and it's negative because this number is smaller than 1. The original number is smaller than 1. Okay, all right, number 15. The solution to a graph or to 2 lines is where they cross each other. They cross each other right here. This ordered pair is 1, 2, positive 3, and down 1, 2. So the solution is going to be 3, negative 2. Skip 16 because we didn't cover that this year. Number 17 here, it says translate. So that means you slide. To translate means to slide. You're going to slide 3 units to the left and 2 units down. So the only one that you want to slide, though, is the C, to see what the C is. You slide all of them, but they only want the answer for C. So here when you go to the left 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then you go down 2, 1, 2. So this will be your new location for C, C prime. Okay, so you put the tick mark on C because C has moved 1 time. So this ordered pair is negative 1 and negative 1. All right. You skip number 18 because we hadn't talked about that either. Number 19. Here we're finding the volume of this cylinder. The formula is V is equal to pi r squared times the H. Okay, remember pi is going to be 3 1400ths. The radius in this problem is 4. So you're going to square it, and the height is 5. All right. So in this problem, you use your calculator. Get my calculator. You're going to use your calculator here, and you have 3 1400ths times 4 times 4 is 16 times 5. Okay, so you'll multiply all of those together. 3.14 times 16, you could just use a basic calculator for this, times 5. So this is going to give me V is equal to 251 and 2/10. And since it's talking about volume, it's going to be inches to the third power. Okay, circle all the numbers that are rational. Remember, a rational number are numbers that can be written as a fraction. Okay, so of course, A is a fraction, even though it's a negative fraction, that's rational. So you circle it. Whole numbers are integers are rational. A decimal is rational as long as it doesn't have these dots on the end. This is irrational, okay, because you don't know what number is coming next. And of course, a whole number is rational. The other numbers that are irrational is going to be pi and your non-perfect square roots, like the square root of 8 and the square root of 3, the square root of 21, so on and so forth. The ones that do not work out perfectly, where their answers are decimals. And then we talked about the 5.568 This is irrational because you don't know what's coming next. Okay? irrational numbers. The square root of 4 is rational because it's equal to 2. It's equal to a whole number. The square root of 11 is irrational because it's equal to a decimal. The square root of 7 is irrational because it equals to a decimal. The square root of 25 is equal to a whole number, 5. So this is rational. And then pi, again, is irrational because we don't know what number's coming next, okay, for that decimal. All right, so here it says, which of the following is a function? Is this a function? Sorry. The x, you look at the x's. If the x's do not repeat, it is a function. This x is -3. This x is -4, and this x is -1. Since all of these numbers are different for x, yes, this is a function, okay? Here, it fails the vertical line test. If you remember that the vertical line, you take a vertical line, you move it from left to right on the graph. If the graph or the line touches your vertical line at the same time, at more than one place, this line loops back around and touches this pencil in 2 locations. So this is a no. This failed the vertical line test. And the last one for number 24, your answer is B and D. Okay, those are your answers there.